Blackbird, Hornbill, HBX and whatnot. But finally, the subcompact SUV from Tata is here, the Tata Punch. Well, apparently the designers and engineers at Tata Motors thought that this particular car will punch above its segment. So that's why they named it Punch. This specific segment is very crucial and important for people who want a small car inside the city, preferably with an automatic with a high ground clearance, and so that you can bounce around the city around the potholes. So how does the Tata Punch fare against the primary competition? Well, I don't see one. So how does the Tata Punch drive? We are here on the outskirts of Mumbai, somewhere around Khopoli, driving not one but two Tata Punches. Of course, one is the manual and other one being the AMT. So let's find out. So let's talk about the exterior of Tata Punch. Tata has tried to make the Punch in such a way that it blends in with the SUV pedigree of Tata. That is, of course, the Tata Nexon, the Safari and the Harrier. So the overall design that you see here is more or less according to that. You get the projector headlamps, the fog lamps are here, and this is of course the LED DRL, and the overall design looks a bit butchier, so to give it an SUV stance, this they call it the tri-aero grille that we have also seen on the newer Nexons. And in the front, other than that, yes, of course we have these air curtains or air dams. These are actually functional to make the car more aerodynamic according to Tata engineers, because when you have such a butchy design, you need aerodynamics in your force. Okay, coming to the side profile, well, the side profile, it has that floating roof kind of appearance, and this is the dual tone variant, so combination of blue and white looks actual good. And like the Altroz, we get the rear door handles on the door mounted handles, that is here. And yes, the alloys here are 16 inches to give it a more SUV-ish stance, because it's an SUV, mini SUV of course. And other than that, yes, to me the car looks good, and of course I respect everyone's view. People tell me that it looks ugly, but I don't think so, but looks are subjective. Coming on to the rear, first of all you get the Punch badging, looks good. Then these are the plastic claddings, pretty decent. Of course, this being the top end variant, you get rear wipers along with rear parking camera and sensors, of course. Here also you do get these air dams, and these also are fully functional. And of course the headlamps, these are not LEDs. We cannot expect LEDs at this price point, but yes, Tata has done a good job overall to make this car a very good package. And so overall stance, yes, it looks butchy, it looks bulkier, it gets the SUV appearance. It is meant to be a mini SUV, to be something that will help you carve the city traffic along with dodging those big potholes. That's a lot to speak about a car. Yes, you do get these request sensors on the door handles for the keyless entry. So yeah, overall a good package from Tata. Good job there. Time to check out the boot now. But before that, I want to point out there's this small Easter egg here. There's a small hippo, and Tata is known to hide these kind of Easter eggs inside each of their products, be it the Safari, be it the Nexon, or Safari, the Harrier. So yeah, let's check out the boot now. So this is the boot, pretty well spaced. According to the tech specs, it has a capacity of about 360 liters. Now few of my bags and my camera equipments are already inside the boot, and even after that I have good amount of space left, and even a small me can fit inside this. Okay, so yeah, it is indeed a good car to carry those bodies, if you know what I mean. Also, you get this parcel tray, the rear parcel tray. Pretty much good report there. Also, you get a few hooks, and you can carry about 1 kg of carryovers on these hooks. So yeah, that's a good report over here. So this is the heart of the Punch. This is the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder Revitron petrol engine. It's a naturally aspirated unit and not the turbo. This is available with a 5-speed manual as well as an AMD gearbox. This engine churns out about 86 PS of power and 113 Nm of torque. Overall, the engine does feel punchy, as the name suggests, punch. So let's start the car now. The front seat is where the thing gets interesting. The whole design language is very millennial friendly. You get these rectangular AC vents in the blue car. These are blue accents. The overall theme feels good. You get an airy feeling. The plastic quality, hard plastics are there, but you really cannot complain at the price point that Tata is planning to bring this one. These are the controls for the aircon. This is the floating island infotainment system. You get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, standard stuff. Of course, from the house of Harman. Amazing audio quality, so no cuts there. Yes, what we do miss could be this. This is a day and night mirror, so no auto dimming IRVM, no center armrest. That is something that I am gonna miss, and probably there will be aftermarket accessories to get these fit in. Other than that, good place to be in. This is the flat bottom steering wheel, chunky, good to hold. Standard lift from Tata products, and everything seems very good. So yeah, that's everything from the front seat. So now I'm sitting in the back seat of the Tata Punch. This seat is pushed all the way back, and as you can see, there is some amount of knee room left. There's ample amount of headroom, mini SUV perks. I'm sitting very comfortably. The recline angle is good. Under thigh support is also good. A bit might wouldn't have hurt. You also get a center armrest. So this is the position that you will be sitting in the back seat, and This is indeed comfortable, no issues here. You do get 2 headrests. A third headrest might have added to the whole experience, but yeah, that's it. The window is large, so you won't feel claustrophobic, and this, unlike the now popular cars, doesn't get sunroof, but you don't need it here. It's an entry level mini SUV, so not much needed. The seat backs are scooped out, so you get more space, and there is also a seat back pocket to store your knickknacks. And as always, Tata cars are filled with voids, allow you to store your personal belongings, and it can easily take on 1 liter water bottles from your home. So the back seat is a good place to be in Tata Punch. Okay, so now I'm driving the Tata Punch, and this is the AMT, as the AMT gearbox, automated manual transmission. Now this does the duty on the Nexon as well as the Tiago. Okay, talking about the overall driving dynamics, right now we are on the ghats of old Mumbai-Pune highway, and we have just been to Khopoli and had an adventurous day with this Tata Punch. So the first aspect that we are going to cover is the steering. So the steering is light, very light at city speeds, so it will be a good car to maneuver through the city traffic and park it in those tight parking spaces or those mall parking lots. Then at when you are doing good speeds, as right now I'm doing 60-70 kilometers per hour, and overall the steering does have some amount of weight to it, and there is some feedback, but I would have appreciated if there's some more feedback to it, a bit more heavier, but yeah, this is good for a car of this range. Then the next aspect that we're gonna cover is the braking. Okay, so the braking, what I felt is that the brakes at start, you might feel them a bit spongy, and you may have to press them hard at city speeds, but once you get going, you'll get used to the pedal bite, and then you'll have a better experience. So yeah, I feel that the brakes are adequate and they do the job, and that is what we expected. It has some amount of body roll, but that can be that is due to the butchy stance of this car, and other than that, it feels capable when you are going through those massive potholes or doing some soft roading like we did today. And at those speeds, the suspension does its job very well. Now, talking about the suspension setup, it's a bit on the softer side, but that was expected, since this mini SUV is expected to encounter the massive city potholes and those long never-ending metro projects. There is a bit of bounciness, or there's a bit of body roll, but that is expected due to the stance of this SUV. Talking about the gearbox, this is the 5-speed AMT. Nothing much, the same one that does the duty on the Nexon, the Tiago, and the other Tata AMT cars. Not very responsive, but it has some amount of lag. I would have appreciated if Tata somehow managed a CVT gearbox with their products. Actually, Tata does need CVT. I would recommend CVT for all of the products that currently has the AMT. So now we have entered the Mumbai-Pune expressway. So this is the 5-speed AMT that we are driving, and yes, the gearbox has some amount of lag, but you will feel that it does get unresponsive at times. We have now entered the Mumbai-Pune Express Highway. We're doing about 100 kilometers per hour. It's cruising very efficiently. There's the rumble strips are handled by the car very well. So the suspension setup is indeed very good for this particular segment that the consumers now want. Okay, so you may spot these dots on the windshield. That is because we took the car off-road, and I think it's time we clean this up. Okay, yeah, so the wipers work pretty well. Good amount of throw from the nozzles, and a courtesy swipe there. Okay, yes, so it does tend to get a bit uneasy when you are doing quite good speeds. Talking about the engine, yes, this is the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder Revitron petrol that does the duty on the Altroz, the Diago, and somehow this engine on the Punch felt much more refined as well as punchier as compared to the other cars. I don't know if it's a placebo or something else, but it does feel punchy to me. And the gear shifts, the engine responds to the gear shifts very well as soon as so now I'll slot the gearbox into manual mode. Currently it's in the 4th gear and I'm flooring the pedal. I've crossed 100 and it's quite good inside the cabin, and there we go in the 5th gear. We're cruising at about 110 kilometers per hour. The NVH levels also are the NVH levels are quite good, but a bit more would have been appreciated.
City drive mode activated.
So the NVH levels are good, but could have been better. The 3-cylinder is the culprit here, and when mated to the AMT, that rubber band effect, as soon as you floor your foot down, this will keep happening. So a bit more NVH or a bit more sound dampening would have been appreciated. So if there's a V2 in making, you're hearing it from me, Tata. So like the other Tata products, this also has an economy mode that can be activated from pressing a button.
Economy drive mode activated.
What the economy mode does is that it controls the amount of fuel that goes into the engine so that it runs more efficiently. The throttle inputs are handled very efficiently in that manner so that it saves some amount of fuel, and that's how you go on economy or econ mode. So when the car is in economy mode, the throttle inputs are reduced to some extent to save fuel, and that does give you better fuel efficiency, especially in such times when petrol is hitting centuries in most of the cities now. Talking about the package, we don't know the variant wise spec sheet yet, so we'll get a better idea very soon. The car is riding on 16-inch tires, and they handle those bumps and those bridge gaps very well. It does get a bit bouncy, but that is ought to happen when you have a softer suspension. So that was probably everything about the driving dynamics of the Tata Punch, and yes, now I think we'll hop on to the manual transmission.
The good folks at Tata Motors had specially made a curated off-road track for us to experience the off-road capabilities of the Tata Punch. The Punch gets a 20.3 degrees of approach angle, a 37.6 degree of departure angle, and 22.2 degrees of ramp over angle. The Tata Punch the water wading depth of the Punch is 370 mm, whereas the ground clearance stands at 190 mm. The AMT in specific gets the segment first Traction Pro mode, which enables a breezy drive through treacherous driving conditions in situations where one wheel gets stuck in mud or low traction conditions. While we are testing a Tata car, we know that the safety is always on priority, and the Punch is no different. It gets dual airbags, ABS with EBD, front fog lamps with cornering functions, ISOFIX mounts for child seats, reverse parking camera, reverse parking sensors, everything is standard. Driver and co-driver seatbelt reminders, and it uses high steel strength. Also, our little birdie informs us that the Punch has already been tested by the Global NCAP. So, we expect the safety ratings to be out very soon.
As you can see, we have put on lots of mud, sand and whatnot, because this Tata claims is a mini SUV and is very capable to do so. We tested it ourselves at some tricky spots and it came out very well. So this is gonna be segmented below the Nexon in the Tata lineup, and we expect a price range of about 5 to 8 lakhs rupees ex showroom. The pricing will be out on 20th of October, and we expect that this car will floor the markets with its overall value for money package and the equipment it offers. So after our first drive, we put on some 200 odd kilometers, 250 kilometers on this, and we came out pretty impressed with the Tata Punch. So that was our first drive review of the Tata Punch. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, share your valuable feedback with us in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe to Alpha Petrolhead. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. It's me Tirth signing out.